Hello, students. If you're watching this, you should have already finished watching the Ed puzzle. If you have not finished watching the Ed puzzle and answering the questions, please go back and do so. If you have finished it, we're going to go ahead and look at some counterclaim paragraphs, some examples of paragraphs, and we're going to see what each of the sentences in these paragraphs accomplish. And we're going to walk through it and try to develop a formula for these paragraphs. So the first sentence or sentences of these paragraphs should have transitions, and they should also introduce the counterclaim, which is the other person's argument. The next sentences should be what that other side believes or their evidence. The next sentence or sentences should also then introduce why their way of thinking is wrong. The next few sentences could explain why that is wrong. And then finally, the last few sentences are going to show that better way of thinking. So let's take a look at this first paragraph. I'm going to read the first sentence for you, and we'll decide what that's going to be. It says, some may accuse Susie Danielson, Miss Danielson's sister, for the theft of the painting. So looks like they're introducing this is their way of thinking that this is the person who committed the crime. I'm going to go ahead and highlight that sentence in red. Next one says, they cite jealousy as the evidence for their accusation. So you can see that is introducing that jealousy is the reason why, so that's their evidence. I'm going to go ahead and color that one in green. Next sentence says, color the sentences that introduce why that way of thinking is wrong. It's in yellow, so this is what we're going to probably see next. What this evidence fails to consider is the relationship between the two twins. And you can see that this is why it's wrong, what it fails to consider. We're going to highlight that in yellow. Next it says, twins have a certain bond and simple jealousy usually doesn't cause them to commit crimes. So that sounds like that is probably the way why that way of thinking is wrong. And it's kind of explaining a little bit more. So this is their explanation of it. So we are going to color code that blue. Next one says, even though Susie may be jealous, it's unlikely she stole the painting. So this sounds like it's getting to that other part where we are saying that better way of thinking, that she couldn't have done it because she's unlikely she stole the painting. So I'm going to color code that one purple. Next sentence says, Tally Johnson had motivation to steal the painting in order to pay off her debts. So again, it's more explanation of the better way of thinking. Tally Johnson is the one that we should be looking at. Next one says, this explanation of motive is much stronger than Susie's motivation to steal the painting. Again, another sentence that's kind of talking about the better way of thinking. And finally, Tally Johnson is the person that should be tried for this crime. Again, more information about why that is the better way of thinking. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at one more paragraph together. We'll do this one together as well. The first sentence says, some investigators say the only person that could have stolen the painting was Susie Danielson. Again, that is introducing what this paragraph is going to be about. It's transitioning, and we can tell that this particular paragraph is going to be a counterclaim talking about Susie Danielson again. They state because their hair samples were blonde and the Danielson sisters are twins, the hair samples must belong to Susie. So again, that sounds like it is going to be the actual evidence that the other side is going to probably use. So I'm going to color code that green. Next sentence says, this evidence lacks strength. You can tell that it's lacks strength. Those are the reasons why it's a bad way of thinking, because the other hair samples found. So I'm going to color code that one. Let's see if I color code yellow. Usually only people that own a cat would have pet hair on them. So again, that's more of an explanation. So we're going to color code that blue. If she were a suspect, investigators would still need to explain the presence of cat hair at the scene of the crime. Again, this sounds like it's more explanation. So go ahead and color code that blue. All these pieces of evidence, however, do point to Miss Tally Johnson. So again, I'm going to highlight that purple because that sounds like that is our better way of thinking. Tally Johnson is the suspect, and that is the better way of thinking about the situation. Here it says, as noted above, Tally Johnson has blonde hair just like Miss Danielson, and she is also a cat. Again, it sounds like it's more of the better way of thinking. Purple, and then kind of the last sentence, all fingers point to her being the culprit in this case. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and highlight that purple because that sounds like it's still accusing Tally Johnson of the murder of the crime, of the stealing of the painting. So this is what these paragraphs can look at, and I want you to use these paragraphs as examples when you go to write your counterclaim paragraph. you should have at least one counterclaim paragraph, and in your graphic organizer there is a way, it does kind of walk you through having some sentence starters, so you can use those sentence starters to write this paragraph. If you have any questions, I will be back in class tomorrow, and thanks for coming in. Thank you very much.